You just want to track it. And for me, almost always, I try to have my entries be over prior day high, because you can't really be considered a breakout unless you're actually over prior day's channel. So my entry is a break over prior day high, and then a stop at low of day, right? So that's always, kind of my initial thinking.
Go to.
And then when I'm looking at, what is low of day, unless it had some massive morning washout where like now it's kind of expanding my risk to low of day. For Netflix, I want to say it was like 1 point some odd percent to low of day. So I'm like, if I put on 10% position here, I'm risking 0.15%, right? So 1/10 of 1%, 0.2 of 1%. And to me, it's like, okay, if we can start to gain some traction from there, good, right? And so that's always my thinking. And then once I was able to get some traction on Netflix, that allows me to start to, and as setups are proliferating, go to the next one and say, okay, now I'm starting to see a Palantir shape up with a very similar setup where it's just a small little bull flag while the market has this, these 4 days down in a row. And that's something that my eye always catches, right? How is a stock performing compared to the market, right? Or compared to its peers, right? And then that compared to its peers helps me figure out which one I really want to own. And compared to the market kind of helps put my eyes on the right names, and at the right time, as soon as the market begins to go up. So Netflix was just a simple buy on the 22nd, 1,019 over prior day high with the stop at low of day, 1,004, right? Nothing too complicated about that, and just a very simple horizontal flat base, kind of good above the line, bad below. One of the things that I always, will tell people is try not to do downtrending lines, because if you do a downtrending line, some people put them through the candlesticks, some people put them through the wicks, some people include the bodies of some candles. You're right. They just try to make as many points touch as possible, when the reality is if you can just make a nice horizontal line, it's just good above and bad below. And then your entry is over prior day high with the stop at low of day. If the prior daily's candlestick was nice and tight, you could use prior daily low. And then that might give you a little bit more wiggle room. And again, it's all, one of the things with position sizing is it's all average daily range dependent. If the stock is a fast mover like 8, 9, 10% per day, right? I don't want to put 10, 15% of my portfolio with a stock that has a 12% stop to low, right? I mean, that's just nuts, right? You can only take so many trades like that before you've killed yourself. But something like Netflix, if it weren't the first stock that I was trying to buy, I could have gone 20%, and then you're risking 0.3, right? Something totally manageable in case it's a drawdown. But because it was the first name that I was actually able to get myself positioned into, it was just a 10% position. And then, I was able to build traction upon that.
Yeah. So say we're in a good uptrend, you've had good traction. Are you willing to risk 0.5?